Steph Curry is now 38 years old, but still, guarding him remains impossible.
On a lot of teams, they've taken their role to another level for the Clippers.
Curry, three. Time is on it. Bumped Curry, three. Curry!
His greatness is something that should never be taken for granted.
I got some ice for you.
What's this?
From your brother, the playmaker chain.
Oh.
But Steph Curry doesn't just deserve his flowers because he shoots a lot of threes and he's the greatest at it. He deserves it because he single-handedly changed the equation of basketball itself. So much so, NBA players talk about him like this.
I believe that the greatest fear factor that exists in the NBA is Steph Curry.
What player is the hardest to game plan for?
It's always been Steph.
But what do we mean by Steph Curry changing the math of basketball? Throughout the NBA's history, 2 has always been bigger than 3. The rule was simple: take good shots and avoid bad ones. A contested three-pointer, especially early in the shot clock, was considered a bad shot, a mistake and something coaches would bench you for. Then, Steph Curry started taking those same shots and making them, leading to a league-wide confusion.
You feel me? I'm like, he doing the shit that we was like, you can't do that in the league. He started doing it. I'm not.
In the garden.
Yeah, you going too fast shooting that jumper now. That's too much. You ain't even holding it up no more.
You see, what Steph Curry was doing looked wrong, but mathematically, it was right. A three-point shot is worth more than 2. That has always been true. But for years, players did not take enough of them at high efficiency to fully exploit that advantage. Steph Curry changed that. He does not just shoot threes. He makes them at a rate that turns them into the most efficient shot in basketball. Because of Steph Curry, a three-pointer is no longer a risky play, but a high-value decision. Unknown to NBA defenses at the time, Curry taking off had plunged them into a new reality. And Iman Shumpert believes he knows exactly when it happened.
I really felt like in my heart, like we are birthing an animal, bro.
Yeah.
I really think of that moment. I'm like, bro, I think we ignited that confidence that came, because after that game, bro, he got very disrespectful.
Yeah.
Indeed, he became disrespectful because when the math is on your side, the game starts to look different. Shots get deeper, releases get quicker, and confidence turns into inevitability. At that point, Steph Curry had corrected the math. 3 was now bigger than 2. But for you to play with that in mind, you need to be able to play like Curry. But as for you watching this video, have you considered joining our YouTube community? Indeed, we're more than just a channel that produces NBA content. So, don't just watch, be a part of it. Join our membership today and get early access to videos and level up with discounted merch. Now, back to the video. Once the math changed, the next problem appeared immediately: spacing. Because Steph Curry does not just take efficient shots, he takes them from places defenses were never designed to guard. For years, the three-point line defined the limit of pressure. Defenders knew where to pick you up. They knew where the danger started. Steph Curry erased that line, and here's a perfect example of that.
He gets held and grabbed more than anybody in the league, and because the officials are looking a lot at on-the-ball traffic, they don't see everything that's going on off the
Steph
ball.
just walked into the vomitory pretending he's going to the locker room to see if Colin Sexton was going to follow him.
He did.
Because of Steph Curry, now the floor is bigger. There is more ground to cover and more space to protect. Also, there's less time to react because his teammates have learned to play with him. Alex Caruso explained it well.
They're actually understanding how to play with him now, like how he operates, how he moves when he gives up the ball, and like continues to just run in circles until you fall asleep, and then even then like shoots it from 30 feet basically. Like it's borderline at times, it's unguardable.
Steph Curry without the ball is just as dangerous as Steph Curry with it. because he's constantly relocating, constantly searching for space, and constantly forcing defenders to chase. And Marcus Smart can tell you how exhausting the chase is.
It's just tough on a defender because you can't take a break. You know, the instance you think that he's not doing anything, the play's over for him, and that's when you get beaten, that's when you get burnt, and that's when that mentality comes in and you got to stay ready, you can't give up.
Indeed, the chase is not just physical, it's also mental. You're never allowed to stop thinking, never allowed to rest, because the second you do, he is already in position to take a shot that, mathematically, you cannot afford to give up. And the more he does this, the more people wish they could replicate it.
Stephen Curry has taken shooting and the art form of it and moving without the ball to a different level. The first thing kids do, they know they can't dunk and fly like Michael Jordan, but they all believe they can shoot like Stephen Curry.
Because now the next generation is not learning to operate within the old space. They are learning to stretch it. And Steph Curry is the reason why. But what can defenses do about this? At the heart of the problem of guarding Steph Curry is decision making. If you press up on him to take away the three, he goes right past you. Now the defense has to collapse, and that opens up easy finishes or wide open shots for his teammates. If you stay back and protect the drive, he pulls up from deep, and at his efficiency, that is a shot you cannot afford to give up. If you send a double team, the ball leaves his hands instantly. Now you're playing 4-on-3 against a team that already understands spacing better than anyone in the league. This is what players mean when they talk about his gravity.
I was like, yo, he was absurd to watch. And then I played against him, I was like, he's different.
He's different, bro.
But Steph Curry is the most impactful player on a team in the league.
Because the gravity.
Bro.
The gravity.
The moment two defenders commit to Steph Curry, the rest of the floor opens up. And even when you think you're doing everything right, it still falls apart when number 30 is in his element. And Kevin Durant knows a thing or two about this.
We had the game in control, then they put number 30 in the game, and he got him back into it so easily. You know, he makes shots so quickly, and he looked incredible after a couple months off.
That is what makes it feel unfair. A couple of shots go in, and suddenly everything changes.
Like, Steph hits a couple threes in a row, and it's kind of like the other team kind of just forgets how to play basketball a little bit. Find Steph. Is he coming off a screen? Does he have the ball? Does he not have the ball? It's constant of paranoia.
That is not just frustration. That is the system breaking in real time. Because you are not choosing how to stop Steph Curry. You are choosing which mistake you're willing to live with. At some point, this stopped being about one player and became about the entire league trying to catch up. Once Steph Curry proved that his style of basketball worked, teams began taking more threes. Players started practicing deeper shots, and coaches redefined offenses around spacing and movement. But here is the part that makes it different. Everyone copied that idea, but no one could replicate the result. Because Steph Curry is not just efficient, he is an outlier. His impact goes beyond numbers because he basically changed what players believe is possible. And sometimes, some players get very emotional talking about him.
It's crazy because I've liked him since I was in like 6th grade. Like, it was, I don't even know what to say, man, because like, that's my favorite player ever. And the first thing he told me was like, I'm a big fan of your game. And like, truth be told, I'm a big fan of him. You know, like, I had his jersey. He signed it twice. I used to sleep under that jersey. He gave me a pair of his shoes and signed them. Like, that meant the world to me, man. Like, my dad knows, my mom knows. Like, it just means a lot. And like, I don't know. It just means a lot.
Today, the next generation is not just watching him. They are modeling their entire game after him. They are growing up believing that pulling up from 30 feet is normal, that constant movement is required, and that spacing is everything. Now every team is chasing the same equation. More threes, more spacing, more efficiency. But there is still one problem. There is still one player who broke the system in the first place. And that is why, even now, after all the adjustments, after all the copying, after all the evolution, Steph Curry is still the one player defenses cannot solve. At this point, it is no longer a debate. Steph Curry did not just become impossible to guard. He made the game itself harder to defend. Every possession against him is a calculation. Every decision has a cost. But most of the time, that cost is losing. The only silver lining for defenses now is that he has lots of injury problems, so he probably won't be playing as much. But we all know Steph Curry wants that 5th ring. But do you think it's possible? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive and want more, watch one of these Steph Curry videos next.